All right, week two's over. Detroit fans are living it. Somehow Jimmy Fallon's in town. Ben Johnson looks like a goofball. Dan Campbell looks like Dan Campbell. I mean, we got a lot of things that we're going to talk about. Going to try to make this quick, get to the point. I want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Make sure that if you're not already subscribed, you do so right now. Really appreciated that. With that being said, Ben Johnson, you picked the wrong time to leave Detroit.
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
Seriously, though, I mean, I kind of went over this in my post-game live, but is this the right time for Ben Johnson to leave on his own to be a head coach in the NFL? And why did he pick the Bears? It got me thinking. You know, Brian Branch and a lot of the other players said that really hurt him or really hurt the team when they found out that Ben Johnson left. Like, they felt betrayed. He could have gone to a lot of teams. I mean, there's a lot of teams every year that needs head coaches, especially the previous year when Carolina was taunting him out, and I forgot the other team that he was supposed to already even almost have a deal signed with, and he comes back because he had unfinished business. Well, this team's still really young, and we still have unfinished business, so why did he leave last year? And why the Bears, right? So started to look like he was like going to be the bigger brains of the North. And sorry, buddy, you're in fourth place. I'm going to give the Packers a lot of love. Like I said, without Micah Parsons, you guys are a really good team with a really good head coach. The Vikings, you unfortunately just got to see what J.J. McCarthy looks like after playing more than one game of week one. He was flat out there. I mean, they looked absolutely terrible, and they only put 6 points up. So the Vikings look like they've regressed with their quarterback play. I guess it makes them really miss Sam Darnold. But either way, the path to the North right now is definitely going to be Green Bay and Detroit. We saw what Green Bay did to us week one. I don't think we're going to see that the next time we play them, right? We're still going to see a fierce, fiery defense from Green Bay, but I'd like to think that we'll never see the week one Lions ever again. So kind of going back to that game, man. I mean, that bounce back game that we had versus the Bears, that was electrifying. You saw an offense that just started to click on all cylinders, more so from the aerial standpoint, right? So let's wait and see when this running game really blows up. I mean, predictable numbers, don't get me wrong, but I'm talking about when you've got Gibbs and Montgomery both pushing for 100 yards. We're going to see that in the game. Amon-Ra had a 4-touchdown game. Let's just say Gibbs or Montgomery, they're not going to see something with a 3 or a 4 touchdown, especially Gibbs. I'm really curious to see this new year, new number, and new Jahmyr Gibbs, because they had him leading off in the backfield. And, you know, our brains still kind of see him as a more of an explosive back, a non-traditional running back, but the guy's built to do both, right? Now, Montgomery is just a little bit more of a tank and more of a punch you right in the chest kind of running back. He's an angry runner. There's no doubt about that. And he falls forward heavy. So the sky's the limit for these two backs. I mean, we already know what J-Mo's going to do. He's going to blow past corners, right? And as long as Goff doesn't overthrow him, and we did see a few of those in the game, but we know what St. Brown's going to do. Chemistry is just next level, dude. There's seriously, like, you have your Stafford and Calvin, your Montana and Rice, your Goff and St. Brown, Brady Moss, Brady to any of his big-time receivers, Welker. But for real, their chemistry is next level. And I think it just goes to their fierce competitiveness. They both prepare really well. They're both not afraid to be leaders, right? Not afraid to speak up. And in today's world, there seems to be a lot of that where people are lacking the ability to just speak up and say what they want to do, right? For as quiet of a guy Goff is, there's a reason why the boys in the hood respect the shit out of him. The reason why he can go to 7 Mile and hang out, because he's not afraid to speak up, right? He's not afraid to be the leader on the team. So it's just such a great weekend for Lions and for Michigan too, right? We'll get into that. Dan Campbell looked like he was in his element, and he was. He had the entire state of Michigan behind him in that stadium, and he knew it. And you could see, yeah, he goes for it. They even asked Ben Johnson, right? Did that surprise you? Were you irritated that he ran the score up? Were you irritated that when they were up, they still went out for 4th down? And he this is why I'm not trashing Ben Johnson, right? This isn't a haha you left. This is a dude you should have stuck around, man, because you can see there's no love there's love lost. Like these guys liked each other. These guys cared about each other. And he goes, that's what Dan does, right? Like it's so professional between these two. So I don't know. Maybe this is one of those situations where Ben Johnson has a quick out in the Bears and we bring him back. I mean, you're always welcome back, Ben. Still a little upset you went to the Bears, but we'll move on, right? So now we're going to look ahead to Monday Night Football versus the Ravens. I talked a little bit about it in my post game and kind of brought up the fact that this is going to be one of those games where we need to make sure we're scoring 40 plus. I mean, this is the Ravens. They've already done it back-to-back weeks, over 40 points, right? I'm confident in our defense, but it's going to be, can our offense outpower their defense? So that's just really it. But these are the Ravens. The scheming and game planning for the Ravens never changes because the Ravens are always who they are. It got more dangerous when they moved on from Flacco and now you have Lamar Jackson. But have you ever in your lifetime as a sports fan looked at playing the Ravens and said, well, their defense is easy. There's no pass rush. Their linebackers suck. Their corners can't cover. Right? Like that's never been a question when it comes to Baltimore. Baltimore's always been a team where not only do they draft phenomenal, but they have a clear identity and they've never steered away from it. So then you go look at their offensive game and yeah, that's changed. That's evolved, right? Flacco, back in the day, they just kind of had that big run the shit out of the ball. No similar to Detroit, right? And then those big over-the-top plays. Lamar offers so much more. If you're a football fan and I have to explain Lamar Jackson to you, shame on you. But the guy's dangerous, and he's really good, and he's a great leader. They're a team that I respect. The Harbaughs on both sides, Jim and John, are phenomenal coaches, great leaders. They're bred to be football coaches. So you can never count a Harbaugh out. You just can't. This is really going to be a true test, too, for the fans. There's a lot of fans I know out there that are telling me, I'll let you know after the bye week what I think of this team, right? They're just trying to get the hurt out of the way. They're afraid to make an opinion, make a statement and say, oh, this is how I think we're going to be, and this is how I feel right now, right? Still reminds me that there's a lot of bandwagon Lions fans out there, and I'm okay with it. I just think it's I don't know why it's so hard to make a bold claim and say that, listen, we are the better team by a smidge. And that's only because I'm biased. But the only way we win this game is if we outgun them, if we outscore them, right? This is going to be probably, in my opinion, it's going to set the tone for the rest of the season. We're coming out looking really good against a really shitty Bears team, right? Now, how do we come out looking against a really good Baltimore team? And in the past, this is where I think we kind of separated ourselves from like teams like the Bills and the Ravens and the Chiefs, and because we would never meet the full eye test for the full season, right? There was a couple games that we should have won that we didn't play hard enough and consistent enough to keep ourselves in the upper echelon, right? And I'm not saying the top 10 rankings mean everything, but you know what I mean when you're a powerhouse team, right? There's times where powerhouse teams play other powerhouse teams, Kansas City, Philadelphia, and whoever loses in that game, that team doesn't suck, right? That they're both just powerhouse teams. So that's the way I feel about the Ravens game. I saw so many things that the defense did in that Bears game. Again, was it meaningless points? Irregardless, that you can't put on paper, right? How many times Hutchinson just jumps over defender or jumps over a wide receiver or a lineman to get to who he needs to get to? How many times I saw Jack Campbell just scare the living shit out of Caleb Williams and he threw the ball away, right? So like you just saw that pissed offness. And if that will, and it will, that will translate and continue down into Monday night, dude. They're going to have a big offensive line to beat up on. And this is what scares me, right? Because we're healthy. And I don't really know. I'm going to go check on Davenport, but there's going to be no, we don't have this. Or, but there's no excuses, man. This is a perfect test for our defense. It's week 3. We know what Lamar does, right? And we're healthy. We just got to be smart. And I think that's going to start too with our secondary. Brian Branch, no more stupid penalties, please. No more jumping, smacking the quarterback. Like, you're young, you're loud, and you're really good. And you know the NFL hates you and hates Terrion Arnold. So you guys need to just dial it down on being seen so much, because this is one of those games where when you're playing a team like the Ravens and you rip someone's helmet off and throw it, or I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about. Dumb penalties. I don't have to describe them to you, but don't commit dumb penalties against the Ravens. There is no opportunity against this team, right? We made a couple signings before this game. We apparently signed wide receiver quarterback Malik Cunningham to the practice squad. So I think what they're trying to do here is they're trying to simulate a Lamar Jackson, right? So we signed him to the practice squad. We put him out there. He was apparently undrafted by the New England Patriots as a quarterback. He, I guess, was promoted to their active roster in October of 23, appeared in one game, and then he got released. He was signed by the Ravens too, and was put on their active roster in 23. So this guy's been around. He's going to give us a little bit of an inside edge when it comes to game planning. So this is the stuff that I like to see that you would never see coaches in the past do stuff like this, right? So it'll be real interesting to see. I like that we're doing this and we're not just relying on the fact that we've got Hutch, right? So going to be really cool. I'm very excited to see what Kelvin Shepherd has. I think this guy I really liked Aaron Glenn, and I know a lot of us did, but I really, really, really like Shep. I mean, this guy is just obviously he's a player's coach too, but he's just got more of that Detroit vibe to him. He looks good in buffs. Speaking of looking good in buffs, I think we're going to be joined by our good pal Hermdo here. His sound isn't working, but I'm sure he'll fix that. Hopefully he can hear me.
Hello?
Hermdo, if you can hear me.
Do you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you
Okay,
now.
good. I had it on mute.
We
I'm
can
sorry.
See you now.
I just got your text. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I was making a Red Wings video.
Look at this guy, dude.
I mean,
it's okay, man. You just joined me.
Yeah.
I'm 18 minutes in of just kind of talking, and you came in at a perfect time.
Beautiful.
Because here I am, kind of, I don't want to say wrapping up my Lions week 2 and into week 3, but I want to get into Tigers and Red Wings, and you couldn't have came at a better time.
Perfect.
So help me finish the Lions.
Sure.
I was just basically saying we signed a quarterback on our practice squad to kind of mimic Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
It looks like we've also signed a tight end as well. I feel like, Tom, and you can stop me if I'm wrong, but they started game planning for this Ravens game before halftime of the Bears game. I feel like they know this game is their game to make a full-on statement. It's Monday night against a top team.
Yeah. A couple years ago, they got absolutely embarrassed by the Ravens. I remember watching that game. I had my aunt with me. She was kind of sick at the time, and I was trying to spend some time with her, have a nice family memory, and we watched the Lions get blown out that day. It was terrible, but yeah, it's just like
you and your aunt have never had the same relationship.
No, but Lions will be looking. I mean, Lamar Jackson, we all saw what happened to them in week 1 where they blew it against the Bills they had 4 minutes left and they were down by they were up by 15 points, and the absolute worst happened. It was absolute mess. So the Ravens got a chip on their shoulder. They scored 40 points the last 2 weeks. They're a dangerous team. Lamar Jackson. The big problem with the Lions defense last couple of years seems to be, at least, they really can't stop the running quarterback that well. The dual threat quarterbacks, guys that can throw it deep, guys that can get outside the pocket, guys that are mobile, can beat you that way. They can get down the field, throw a quick pass, whatever. Lions struggle with that in the last couple of years. During the Campbell era, that's kind of been the one downside to this this defense.
You're right.
So we really got to batten down the hatch. I know we got a new defensive scheme. Offense, I'm not worried about. I know Marcus Davenport is hurt, which isn't really news to anybody, but not a really big surprise.
Pissed so many people off.
Yeah, it does piss people off, but it's not unexpected. It's just one of those things. It was guaranteed to happen at some point during the season. And Brian Branch, he kind of had a little bit nasty injury too, but I think he's okay, isn't he?
Yeah, he's fine.
Okay, yeah,
he's fine.
Man, that made me nervous. I tell you what, if I'm a little out of it, I'll have to apologize. I'm kind of dealing with a cold right now, but
oh, it's okay, man.
I feel icky.
Dude, it's allergy season for me. I had to take a Benadryl, so if I fall asleep on you, that's why.
No, it's totally okay.
I started having weird body parts swelling up.
I got shot. I should take some Benadryl too. This is my medicine right here, baby. This is my medicine. God, I'm such a fucking alcoholic. Anyways.
The doctor ordered it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But I feel a lot better about the Lions this is the first time I think in the history of the Lions they scored over 500 total yards of offense and 5 touchdowns and 3 throwing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns. So 3 receiving
No,
touchdowns.
this is the first time the Lions, honestly,
Yeah.
Hermdo, looked like a powerhouse team.
Yeah.
Looked like a team that just went, we know what to do. That was just us messing around.
Yeah. Do you miss Ben
right?
Johnson anymore?
Not one bit. And you know what? I had a conversation with myself and the list of future listeners out there. I think he picked the wrong team to go to. And he could have went anywhere. Why did you go to the divisional rivals where you know damn well they're a mess? Like, he's not even good. He's better off going to Miami.
Yeah.
Right? And when they let what's his face go, because they're gonna fire him. Mike
Yeah.
McDaniels, or whatever. He's done. He's not hot anymore. He's not cool.
Oh yeah, what a mess. I think
So not hot.
Yeah, I think the same thing. It's like, well, you ask that question. The Bears stink now, but you know, only about 6-7 years ago, they had a 12-win season. This team, the Bears, don't have the losing legacy teams like the Lions or Browns do. You know, they were in a Super Bowl about 20 years ago, which, you know, a lot of other teams can't say that, but.
Thank you for pointing it out, because this is why I hate them so much, because they don't. And they've had they've had their team, but it's just like they act like they're the goddamn Patriots for the last 25 years. And it's like, you had the 85 Bears.
Yes.
You had the 2006 Brian Urlacher defense with Lovie Smith.
Rex
and I liked Lovie Smith. Yeah, but that defense was nasty. I'll give you that. But ever since then, you've had some fake-ass 12-win teams with Jay Cutler and guys that just don't give a shit.
Yeah, the Jay Cutler years were really. I mean, he got comparisons to like Matthew Stafford and stuff. I remember they were on covers of magazines together. The Gunslingers, those kind of guys, and we see the career Stafford had, and Jay Cutler's been out of the league for years. But yeah, it just.
Well, dude, speaking of being out of the league, man.
Yeah.
It's like some of these quarterbacks, like J.J. McCarthy, he's going to be 2 to 4 weeks out.
What happened? I missed that game. You have to forgive me.
No, it's okay. So this is kind of, I don't want to say breaking news, but I'm just reading this myself. So he was sidelined with an ankle injury, and they weren't sure how severe it was, right? Obviously, he didn't play at all last year. Now he's out 2 to 4 weeks. Desmond Ridder signed to the Vikings practice squad. They'll end up having like a resurgence of Gardner Minshew or one of these goofball quarterbacks like Sam Darnold. They'll have this big season. But my whole point is, then it's back to next year, and they're going to go, what do we do with J.J. McCarthy, right? Then you've got Caleb, who looks like an absolute clown out there.
Yeah.
The second a play is called, and this is Skip Bayless basically said this, and I'm kind of quoting him, but he goes, basically, the second Ben Johnson is calling a play, Caleb Williams is already in his head going, I'm going to do whatever I want, so just stop. He goes, because if you look on the tape, he is uncoachable, but he goes, that's not his fault. His entire career, he's been told to go do this.
Yeah.
So that's all he knows. So it's like, Ben, you knew this going into it, right? You just look at some of these teams, and I just go, my God, thank God for Jared Goff.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, he's on the IR now.
Oh,
there goes the Bengals. Like, what a team. They've wasted so much of Jamar Chase's career.
Yeah, it was a real shame. You know, I remember them bringing in Jamar Chase for Joe Burrow, that LSU connection, and like how special it, and we've seen glimpses of how special that team was. This team got to a Super Bowl not too long ago, but you just see like they refused to give the guy an offensive line, and he's got, you know, there's certain pieces on that team that are very good, but it just, you know, it depends who's guarding him. It depends who he's throwing to. There's just so many times. They're never in sync. It never syncs up that right. It's always some kind of chaos unfolding whenever that offense rolls out. And it just, you see, it's just, it's very inconsistent. Joe Burrow gets put in a lot of bad spots. He just can't succeed in that system. If I'm him, you know, I'm not saying do anything drastic, but it's time to demand some changes. You know, I mean, he might have to get some people fired or something.
Why not demand a trade?
Yeah, or demand a trade. You never know. That could happen. Because we see what Joe Burrow can do. Joe Burrow is generational. We saw that at LSU. I mean, people were comparing him to Trevor Lawrence and stuff, and they're saying, you're crazy if you think Joe Burrow's going to have a better football career than Trevor Lawrence. And, well, but, yeah, I mean.
Dude, his performance in the national championship game in 2020 was outrageous.
Oh, yeah.
Like, next level. Right. So, no, it's very interesting to see the quarterback carousel that continues to go around. Right. Another injury, too. Aaron Jones for the Vikings. He's on IR.
Oh,
sorry, that just popped up.
That's okay.
But you look at it and you say, God damn, thank God we have Jared Goff, man.
Yeah. You never, people, I tell you what, everybody, you guys got to calm down. I mean, so many people, like myself included, like I shouldn't say myself included. I always had faith in Goff, but there's a few times where I'm just thinking, how long is this guy really going to stick around for? Is he really the answer? I thought about that a couple times, like when the first couple years he was here, but a guy like Goff, what he brings to the table, the consistency, the leadership of the pure arm talent. He had like 17 completed passes in a row against the Bears, 5 passing touchdowns, excuse me. But
I love it.
we see what the guy can do. We see what the guy can do because we actually got an offensive line together for the first time in a long time in the early Campbell era. Then we finally get a quarterback who can work within that scheme. We give him all sorts of weapons, and yeah, the system, you could say like, oh, maybe he's a system quarterback. He wouldn't do this good without any weapons. You could say that about pretty much every quarterback in the league, but
well, yeah, of course. This is the NFL, dude.
Yeah, I know. Maybe that was a dumb point, but it just...
Well, no, it's not a dumb point. It's a great point because you have to constantly remind yourself, Tom, that the level of talent in the NFL is that next level.
Yes.
That in college, you can be a quarterback like a Caleb Williams or a lot of these quarterbacks, right, that have had awesome stats in college. The reason they don't translate is because the talent drop off. It's so big between the pros, like a professional defense versus a college defense, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at it. Last week, Bryce Underwood, or as he likes to be called.
Yeah.
He played against Central Michigan.
Yeah.
Okay. I went there. They haven't been good in a long, long, long time, and it's okay. He's never going to see talent like that when he plays against Ohio State or Georgia. Like, we already know. Then take that kid to the pros. Now you're literally getting the best of the top 10 defenses in college all on one team.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a stupid point because people forget that so much. They lose sight.
I appreciate that. That's a good way to break it down. Really, that's a very good point. But yeah, you see other, there's plenty of other quarterbacks that have good pieces around them, and they just can't make it work. But Goff, he fits that scheme perfectly. Looks like he's adapting well to the new OC. John Morton looks like he's cooking with gas. I know it's against the lowly Bears. I know that Baltimore's going to be a big challenge, especially going into Baltimore on Monday Night Football. They're in Baltimore, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Okay, there they are.
Oh, you're good.
But yeah, it's going to be a massive challenge for this team. I'm nervous about Derrick Henry, man. King Henry. He's still. I mean, I can't think of a guy with this late in his career. I remember him on the Titans and all that stuff, but this late in his career, still being this dangerous, this dominant of a running back. He reminds me of who's the guy on the Seahawks?
Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch. He looks like Marshawn Lynch out there. He's scary the way he's slamming through people. And don't get me wrong, I love Jahmyr Gibbs. I love David Montgomery, but I mean,
he's a proven demon.
Yeah.
No, you're right. Anytime you play the Ravens, anytime you play them, any year you play them in the last 25 years, it's going to be tough.
Yes.
They're always going to be hard to play. And you're right. We've played them before. We thought we were up to that level, and they just went, slapped you and brought us back down. So now the fact that I see we're making decisions like, okay, let's sign a practice squad quarterback that not only played with the Ravens, but mimics Lamar so we can scheme for this because clearly this is our weakness, right?
Yes.
And this is kind of an interesting, I'll take the high road perspective on this one, but okay, they just beat the Browns 41-17. We just beat the Bears 52-21, right? The only thing I can say and the only thing that I'm kind of excited about is we are the underdogs right now, and we always do better when we're the underdogs. Last season, didn't matter what game we were playing, we were so hot, we were always favored because it just was.
Yep.
And now that we have that kind of that hot, cool season, right? We're no longer the super hot, sexy chick at the party.
Yeah.
Now we're coming back to the party as a chaperone, laughing, right? Because we're going into Baltimore with a different mindset as the underdogs. We're opening the betting line right now as Lions plus 5.5. So I'm curious to see if that changes throughout the week, right? Or closer on Sunday too. We look like ourselves. Our confidence is high, and we don't have this kind of like, you have to go prove it, right? It's almost like Baltimore has to prove it, that they're still up there, and that this isn't going to be a Bills game where they go, no, we got this, and then they look embarrassed. So
Yeah.
that's just my 2 cents.
No, absolutely. It's a thing, I wasn't sure what the spread was, but thanks for letting me know. But yeah, it's going to be a prove it game for the Lions. It's going to be a game because, right now, Lions, just like they ran, you had a couple seasons, it was a cute story. Now people are sick of you now. People want you to fail. You discussed this before. But Lions got that big target on their back now. It's just like, you thought you were slick getting the 15 wins last season. Well, we're going to slap you back down to reality. And the Ravens, that could be the biggest test of the year. I know they're playing the Eagles and the Chiefs too this year. Those are going to be big tests, but I know the Chiefs, maybe they fell off a little bit, first 0-2 start since 2014, but this Ravens team, that's a tall order, knowing the way those teams are built. But
and the Ravens have been fighting for respect, man. They have been battling to be respected, no different than we are.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, dude, when Harbaughs are coaching, you just can't count them out.
No.
It's what they do is coach football.
I think
they're psychos.
Yeah. I think John Harbaugh, doesn't he hold the record for most like blown losses for over like a certain amount of points? I don't remember what the stat was, but he's blown a few leads. So that kind of gives me a little bit of confidence. Like maybe the Lions could like work something kind of special out. Maybe they could surprise them. Maybe they could kind of be maybe like the Cinderella story and whatnot, and find some way to come back and beat them. Like, because I think the Ravens are going to be confident. I think they're going to be feeling good. They're going to want to make a statement here. Beat up on the Lions and whatnot. But I think the Lions could surprise them. I think the Lions have the tools and the talent to do some damage here. And I think I don't know. I don't want to. Maybe I'll just say like give me the Lions and the points, honestly. But I think this could be a very fun, very exciting game if the Lions can game plan, like you said. They got that quarterback on the practice squad, but that's what you got to do. You got to do that kind of game prep these days. You got to pull out all the stops. And we know this Lions team is dedicated to win, any way possible, because they've had some goofy wins last few seasons. But I think they're in a good spot right now. If they lose to the Ravens, which is possible, I don't want to be, glazing too much, but I don't think it's the end of the world. I still think they got some winnable games coming up. But a statement win, that would be a big statement win, kind of like the Kansas City Chiefs game was a couple of seasons ago. That set the tenor for the whole season. You beat the Chiefs. I know there was a couple catches that were dropped in that game, but still, you came in there and you beat the defending Super Bowl championships in their own house. But if we could do something like that, if we can beat up, I'm not saying we're going to beat up on the Ravens. I think it'll be a pretty close game. I think if we can.
I'm pretty cool with this stat. I did not know this. Thank you for sharing it. John Harbaugh broke his own record with his 10th blown double-digit fourth-quarter lead, most in the NFL since 1991. The previous record was a tie of 8, which Harbaugh broke late last year. So, you're right.
I was right. I did read that somewhere. That is interesting.
Okay.
So it's just like, but I was saying, like, more to the point, Ravens are going to be cocky. This is a cocky team. Lamar Jackson's a cocky guy. I think, John Harbaugh, he knows what he's got in his hands. But they're also, they're kind of playing. They've had some embarrassing losses in the playoffs, and so they want to prove it this season. They might be looking past the regular season. Maybe they're thinking, they're solely focused on the playoffs, stuff like that. Maybe they look past the Lions. Lions could take a chance and like kind of duck and bob and weave, and maybe give them an uppercut and kind of surprise them. I mean, Lions got to keep fighting, because we could use their cockiness against them, and we can kind of surprise them in the fourth quarter if we just keep it close. And so I mean, we could hand him his 11th double-digit loss, I think. So maybe I'm just kind of being cutesy here, but.
Oh, be cutesy all you want, because cutesy was Jim Schwartz's middle name when he was here.
Oh,
and he shut Derrick Henry down. And I'm looking at these stats, dude. 24 yards on 11 carries.
No shit.
They committed to stuffing that line with Myles Garrett and all those guys and saying, listen, you're going to, and I guess maybe that's what you have to do. You have to commit to one player. Am I going to shut Lamar? Am I going to shut Derrick down? But again, when you have a good team, that's what you got to do for the Lions, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be really interesting to see how guys like Tyreek Williams, right?
Yes.
So having these big meat hogs up the middle that just spat passes down and clog gaps. Like that's the stuff you don't see on the stat sheet for Tyreek Williams, is how much of those gaps he takes up so that you can't get that extra 1 yard, or you don't have that comfortability. Like that is where I think we're going to look a little different than last year, is we're going to have, and go back to, I'll send you some videos of some of the stuff Jack Campbell and Aiden Hutchinson did on tape.
Yeah.
that you can't put on a stat. That's the stuff I think we're going to see big time in Baltimore.
I
So
think so.
it'll be interesting. I still think if we do get the win, the key to the success is going to be, dude, we're going to have to put up over 40. That's just one of those dueling games that first team who scores is probably going to win.
Yeah, but it showed to me, the Bears game showed to me that they can put it all together, and that definitely inspired a lot of confidence. I do think when the Lions get in motion, they are unbeatable. And I think
they are.
We can be a dangerous team. I think we can find those gaps. I think Jahmyr Gibbs, can have some fun against this Ravens D. I think that we can maybe, I don't know if we can get to Lamar that much, but hopefully we can stuff him a little bit. Taking away the run too, can Aiden Hutchinson help with that? But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think it'll be an excellent game. I think it'll be a really fun game to watch, and I think Lions are going to play him close. I think it's going to be a big offensive showcase. I think we're going to see a ton of scoring, and I think we'll get our money's worth. I definitely think so, as football fans.
So I think it's going to be like a 42-36, or it'll just be one of those high ball numbers.
Yeah.
No matter what, and I said it last week with, I think the over was 44 points, 44 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you right now to take the over on whatever they say for this game.
Yeah.
But speaking of over, we can switch over to the Tigers real quick and talk about how, personally, playing the Guardians right now, the Indians, this is exactly what's going to happen. We're 6.5 games back. 7's the magic number. All we need to do is beat the shit out of these Indians. But Hermdo, and I know it's not going to be an easy road.
No, and
I don't have any faith in this team.
Everybody is panicking about the Tarek Skubal thing, but he's still good to go, which is good. But at the same time, it's like, if Tarek Skubal goes down, what do we got? Outside of Tarek Skubal, what do we got? You're bringing up Kyler Montero. You got Sawyer Gibson Long coming out of the bullpen. Boy, you put Chris Paddock in the bullpen because he stunk. They're giving him the who's that?
I know where you're going with
who's
this.
Who's that one free agent pitcher we signed a couple years ago? The Asian guy really sucked. I fucking forgot his name, but I'm bad with the names. You have to forgive me, but yeah, they're just you see when guys move to the bullpen.
Did he formerly play for the Twins?
I think so.
Yeah, Kenji or
Kenta Maeda.
There it is.
There you go. Thank you for reminding me. I'm sorry. I'm so bad with names, but
hey, you remembered it more than I did.
Yeah, but yeah, just like they're giving him the Kenta Maeda treatment. Just like toss him in the bullpen, have him throw in the 6th or 7th, see what he can do. Will Vest is still good in the 9th. Why they use him outside the 9th, I don't know. Tommy Kahnle has been better. He's still better. Rafael Montero, still, for the most part, he went on a nice little run there. Tommy Kahnle went on a nice little run. Kyle Finnegan still hurt. That makes me really nervous. God, if Skubal went down. I remember hearing the news. I missed the game. I was working, but I was following along on my phone, and then I saw this update like Tarek Skubal exits early because of right side injury, and I'm just like,
throw everything you own away.
Fuck, what do we do now? But, Kyler Montero, he looked really good. The thing with Jack Flaherty, he pitches really good against playoff caliber teams.
He does.
He does. When he pitches, I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but when he pitches against like under 500 teams, he's garbage. I don't know why that is. I don't know why under 500 teams and these like journeyman lefties give the fucking Tigers so much trouble. And I also with Casey Mize as well. Casey Mize, we know he's had a rough go of it. He's looked good last start, and we know the record with him in the game the record where he's starting is very, very good. Casey Mize has a good record this year. But he had ERA above 6 for a bit of a stretch there. But Charlie Morton, I mean, I don't know. He's still like a strikeout machine, but man, he is so wild on that mound. You don't know what to expect. He's in his.
Well, look at these teams we're going to have to face, dude. Like we're 10th in home runs, 9th in runs, 14 in strikeouts, and 13th in ERA. There's no stat that in ranking that tells me, yeah, but we're really good at this, right?
Yeah.
Of course, Skubal, he's got his 2.2 ERA, 224 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Casey's got his meaningless 14 wins. It's Dylan Dingler and Riley Green.
Yeah.
And that's it, right? And you've got guys like Verling who are still hurt. But when you start looking at who we're going to have to play, dude, if we have to play Seattle, bye.
Yeah, Kyle Rowley he'll obliterate us. Look at some of the big power guys.
He's going to hit 14 home runs before the game starts.
It's insane. what this guy's doing as a catcher in the league. He's like, the numbers he's putting up are insane. But like the big power guys like when that series against the Mets, we're gonna face teams like the Mets, and I know the Mets haven't had the best season. You know, they're kind of been chasing the Phillies all year. They had some
Hey, they
nice,
still have Juan
yeah,
Soto. They
they
still
still
have
have,
Pete Alonso.
yes,
They have proven dogs that are barking
yeah, I
loud
know
this
their
year.
record might not be amazing, but they're still a damn dangerous team, and
They're
you're going to
just a
be.
hard team to
They're a
play.
hard team to play, and that really showed us when they were slapping us around. And I know I was encouraged, but that's the caliber of player. You're going to see a lot of Juan Soto's, Aaron Judges, Kyle Raleigh. You're going to see
Yep.
guys like that. I mean, you're not going to see Juan Soto till the World Series if you get there, but obviously it's just, you know, the amount of players. The Tigers don't really have. I mean, they got Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson. They got nice players. Kerry Carpenter is a nice player.
Yeah, they sure do.
Riley Green's a nice player. Dylan Dingler's a nice player. Wenzel Perez has been a breath of fresh air. Guys like they got good role playing guys. Parker Meadows, he's been hot since he came back. They got Jahmai Jones. I love what I see from him. Zach McKinstry, you know, the guy's very clutch in some moments. He makes some boneheaded moves though.
Of
Some of these
course.
guys do. Some of the errors they commit, kind of like what? Some of Spencer Torkelson's base running is just like trying to run. Like you get a outfield fly gets caught, and he's like trying to run to second. He gets tagged out by like 5 feet.
Yeah,
It's like,
his
what are you doing?
big chunky ass
Big
thighs.
chunky ass. Some of the
Stay at first.
some of the base running is just like it leaves me, but just like for the flaws in this team, this is still a very good Tigers team, and we still have a good season, but we just don't have a guy. We don't have a Juan
No.
Soto on this team.
No.
There's nobody that compares to the upper A, the triple A elite players. We really don't have any on this team, except I
Yep.
mean, offensively, you know, as far as pitching goes, we got Tarek Skubal, you know, but you know what, we can start talking. You know, we might be talking about the Tigers off season sooner rather than later. That'll be some fun topics. Like, are we going to go get Bo Bichette? Can we pry him out of Toronto somehow? Do we bring Bregman in? What do we do with Skubal? Are we going to bring somebody to compliment him? But those are fun
Bregman
conversations
actually
to have.
come here?
Yeah,
we tried last time.
we
to bring
did.
him in,
That was
but
a big, long, fucking dramatic thing. But we could use guys like him definitely. But you know, people are figuring like, look, we got this team now. Maybe we can add some pieces and go for a run, make a real legit like World Series run before Skubal walks out the door. But yeah, but more like what you were saying. Let's focusing on this year. You know, I don't think the Tigers are going to go very far. I think the
Nope.
Tigers. I think they get in. I think they win the division by like the skin of their teeth. Maybe like 1.5, 2 games, maybe 3 games. I still think they keep their heads above water just well enough to win the division, get that wild card bye week, and or bye, and get into the ALDS. Where I'll imagine they probably face like the Blue Jays or what have you. I'm not sure how all that seeding works off the top of my head, but yeah, or maybe like the Mariners. I don't know. But compared to some of these other teams, the Blue Jays make me nervous. The Mariners make me nervous. The Astros make me nervous. A lot of
everybody
these teams
in
out
our
there,
division makes me nervous.
yeah, everybody in our division.
You know what I mean? Like it used
Yeah.
to just be like, okay, let's get us to this team because, hey, let's face it, we've always had fun. I've always enjoyed watching us battle
Yeah.
against the Yankees, right? But like when you're seeing, if we have to go through the teams that we're supposed to go through, we're fucked. Sorry.
Yeah, but consider this: every team in our division over the last year of baseball, over the last full span of 162 games, they're all under 500. The Tigers are 162. The Tigers are the best team in this division. Granted, it might not always show it, but the Tigers have made extremely incredible strides. I know they're kind of limping towards the finish line. There's still a lot of positive momentum built off this team. This team is not built. This is not one of those teams that this isn't one of those teams that was like is going all in to spending $300 million. This is a team that has a very low payroll.
Exactly.
This is a team with a ton of homegrown talent. Everybody on this team,
Way.
you know, has been like in the farm system at some point. Almost every single person has been drafted, you know, but the Tigers are built for longevity. So I'm trying to tell fans right now, like, yes, this season may end in disappointment, but we can still do some good things here. We can still build for the future. The door's wide open. The Tigers' window is wide open. It's been open for a while, and we can still
got
do some
this
real
guy.
damage. Be a good team for a better part of a decade, I think. But yeah, and Kevin McGonigal and Max Clark will be here next year. We're gonna have some fun. I think this team's really gonna really going to go for a long, sustained run of success.
And that's what you're right. That's what they're built for.
Mhm.
And this is the first start of it because you looked at Houston when they first started building their big run after all their draft picks started to kind of fill those roster spots. And look at them now. They can't go away. You can't take that team away. Now, the Mets, that's payroll driven. The Dodgers, that's always payroll driven.
Yes.
Phillies, that's payroll driven.
Yep.
You look at teams like Seattle, that's drafting. Boston, say, dude, Boston and New York, they still build and draft really good dudes.
Yeah.
I'll give Toronto their credit. I think they've built a really nice team.
Yes.
Through like the right way, right?
Mhm.
So the Cubs, I think they're a joke. They've got Kyle Tucker, I believe, but he'll be leaving.
Yeah, Pete Crow Armstrong really fell off.
Big time.
Yeah.
Dude, I want the Brewers to do well, but they're the Brewers.
I know.
It's just not going to happen. Sorry, you missed your shot when you had everybody on steroids and you didn't fucking do anything.
You had Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder. Yeah.
Come on, dude.
I know.
Like, those guys were just raking.
I know. It was crazy.
And they had some Zach Greinke's and they had some arms. And it's like the Phillies. Sorry, dude. Like, you can pay Kyle Schwarber. You can pay Nick Castellanos. You could pay Bryce Harper. Dude, it's the second Bryce Harper leaves the Phillies, they'll win us the World Series.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be funny. I'm going to laugh.
That'll be just like Washington.
Yeah.
But you're right, dude. I think we can end this Tigers conversation in a positive note because it is built long-term success.
Yeah, definitely.
And we've got a farm system that is top notch.
Yes.
I mean, like it's going to be really fun, and it's not even just arms anymore.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to be that team that's going to be like, oh, a bat.
Yeah.
An offensive guy who is really good. This is cool to see.
Yeah, a homegrown guy. For the longest time, we were sacrificing the homegrown guys to bring in guys like David Price, bring in guys like Miguel Cabrera, bring in guys like who had like all these other dudes we've had over the years. But yeah, it's a totally different approach than Dombrowski. I'm really liking what Scott Harris is doing with the team, and we got a bright future ahead. Look forward to that. And it's going to be fun talking about postseason baseball. If nothing else, it's going to be entertaining, even if it's only a few games. So I'm looking forward to it.
And maybe we can go live on either your channel or this one and just do it because who knows? It's a good reason to go live and talk some shit.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
Hey, man, I want to thank you. I actually, I got to get going and pick up my kid from basketball.
Okay.
But, I want to give you another great shout out, dude. All the videos you're pumping out and the Red Wings stuff. We are getting so much Red Wings love that I'm getting people like Dan V texting me. I'm like, they're getting pumped for us to cover the Red Wings in real season. And I watched your postseason, or your not postseason, but your kind of like your preseason camp video.
Yeah, yeah.
And I started going through the list of some of these guys, and you got me pumped for it. So
yeah.
I just want to say thank you for that.
There's things to be excited about for the Wings. I just did a 45-minute long reaction video. I don't know if you've ever heard of Steve Dangle. He's a really big hockey YouTuber, runs like his own podcast network. He's a big Toronto Maple Leafs fan, and he did a podcast with a couple of his buddies talking about the Red Wings and basically calling them mid, which is understandable.
Interesting.
Red Wings are a little bit mid, but I did a reaction video to that. I kind of refuted some of his points. He made some valid points. He brought up some good points. I like Steve. I think he's a class act. I think he's one of the better guys out there. If you're a hockey YouTuber, you got to follow the guy, because every time the Leafs get bounced out of the playoffs in the first round, he's always making these videos looking like he's about to have an aneurysm. It's very entertaining. But it's like every April on the dot, you can set your watch by it. Like the first week of the postseason, the Leafs are out of it, and Steve Dangle's making a video about like, wah, it's the core four, all this stuff. Just going back and forth, but
why don't we? Yeah, I mean, hopefully we can kind of make some connection with this guy. But dude, we gotta. This is the type of shit that I love that you're doing because you get that reaction, you call it out. This guy should come on, or we should try to make some type of call out to this dude in his podcast.
Yeah, we can do that.
I like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
but
awesome.
I made a video kind of reacting to him, talking about some of the points he made. Like the points he brought up about Steve Yzerman's free agency moves were very valid. But he was kind of talking about Steve Yzerman's drafting, and Steve Yzerman's drafting has been very good, very solid. Granted, he has not found the guys he was able to find in Tampa Bay, like the Nikita Kucherovs, the Braden Points. I'll talk about it in the video. I don't want to give too much away, but it's about 45 minutes of content. You can chop it up, dice it up, make some shorts out of it, but it's there. I just uploaded it to the folder, so you'll have it. But yeah, I was just about
Sweet.
to I was just
Well,
about
this
to text you,
excites me,
so
dude.
it's just funny. I
No,
made the video and I'm like, well, I better text Mark, let him know it's in there. And then I check, he's just like, oh, I'm in the studio, and I'm like, oh fuck, so
dude, it worked out perfect. I did a nice little intro. You came in, we picked right up, and it
Yeah.
was flawless.
all right.
But yeah, again, dude, thank you so much. Appreciate everybody's love. We're over 200. I want to get to 500 subscribers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And these videos are coming out every day now. It used to just be once a week. I'd say, okay, this is when a video comes out. But thanks to you
Yeah.
and our new strategy
Mhm.
of opening this up, we got videos every day.
Yes,
so
sir.
every day at 4 o'clock, every day at 8 o'clock. We've got shorts coming out every single day.
Mhm.
I was toying around with the noon videos too, but I think 2 videos are good for the day.
Yeah, that's
They
fine.
seem to track and
That's-
spread out better.
Yeah.
But I'm really eager to get the lives going, and I want to encourage as many people as possible when we do these lives to hop in the chats and talk shit.
Yep, absolutely. Gotta talk that shit, baby. You gotta talk that shit.
Yes. And thank you to the Doctor and the Do. I've been jumping into their Twitches and their lives on the weekends and talking shit to them and trying to encourage people that are in their world to come listen to our podcast. And they always give us a good shout out. So
Absolutely.
if you're in there and you feel like it, Doctor and the Do, get in there. They do their lives on like Saturday nights and Sunday nights, and I think sometimes Fridays, but I'll have to get the schedule. But you should jump in there too, dude. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
They have a pretty big following, and like getting these guys and just chirping in there, it's pretty fun. Whether you
Absolutely.
like digital wrestling or not, it's fun. But
Yeah, I'm down for whatever, man. It all sounds good to me.
perfect. Well, I'll talk to you in a little bit, sir, and everybody else in digital land. Peace.
Bye-bye.
I thought you said I was all right, Spider. So
No, you ain't all right, Spidey. You got a lot of fucking problems.
no, I thought you said you were all right.